Hello everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to walk a sacred path together, one that has been contemplated by millions for centuries, the or the way of the cross. This spiritual journey follows Jesus on his final day, from his condemnation to his burial. It's a powerful devotion, especially during Lent, that invites us to reflect on sacrifice, love, and the very core of Christian faith. We'll go through each of the 14 traditional stations, exploring their meaning and the profound lessons they hold for our own lives. So, take a deep breath, and let's begin this journey of reflection and faith. Our journey starts with the first station. Jesus is condemned to death. Here we see Jesus standing before Pontius Pilate. Despite finding no fault in him, Pilate, under pressure from the crowd, sentences him to die. This station teaches us about injustice and the courage to stand for truth even when it's unpopular. It challenges us to think about the times we might have stayed silent when we should have spoken up or judged others unfairly. It's a moment of profound solitude for Jesus, a reminder that following a path of integrity can sometimes mean standing alone. Now, we move to the second station. Jesus carries his cross. After the condemnation, the heavy wooden cross is placed on his shoulders. This isn't just a piece of wood. It's the weight of all human sin, all our struggles, and all our pain. By accepting it, Jesus shows us how to embrace our own crosses, the burdens, challenges, and responsibilities in our lives. He doesn't shy away from the difficulty. Instead, he accepts it willingly. This station is a powerful symbol of acceptance and the beginning of a difficult but purposeful journey. It asks us, what burdens are we carrying? And can we carry them with a sense of purpose? Whose does a deed? The third station. Jesus falls for the first time. The weight of the cross is immense, and Jesus, weakened by his earlier suffering, stumbles and falls. This moment is incredibly human. It shows us that even the Son of God experienced physical weakness and exhaustion. It's a powerful lesson for us. We all fall. We all make mistakes and face moments where we feel we can't go on. This station tells us it's okay to be weak. It's okay to stumble. The true test of our faith and character isn't whether we fall, but whether we find the strength to get back up again and continue our journey. As Jesus rises, we arrive at the fourth station. Jesus meets his mother, Mary. Imagine the heartbreak in this moment. A mother sees her son, beaten, condemned, and carrying the instrument of his own execution. Their eyes meet in a gaze of shared sorrow and unconditional love. There are no words, just a profound connection of pain and love. This station speaks to the power of compassionate presence. Sometimes, the greatest comfort we can offer someone who is suffering isn't advice or solutions, but simply being there with them, sharing in their pain with a loving heart, just as Mary did for Jesus. At the fifth station, we see Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus carry the cross. Simon, a bystander pulled from the crowd, is forced to help Jesus. He likely didn't want to get involved, but he was compelled, and in this act, he becomes a part of this divine story. This station teaches us about unexpected calls to service and the importance of helping others, even when it's inconvenient. We are all called to be a Simon for someone else to help lighten their load, to offer a helping hand when they are struggling. Sometimes, the greatest opportunities to show love come when we least expect them. We now reach the sixth station. Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. As Jesus struggles on, a brave woman named Veronica steps out from the crowd, moved by compassion. She pushes past the soldiers and gently wipes the blood and sweat from his face with her veil. In return, an image of his face is left on the cloth. This is an act of pure, tender compassion. Veronica wasn't afraid to show kindness in the face of brutality. Her small act of love brought immense comfort. This station reminds us that no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever. A simple gesture can bring light into someone's darkest moment. The journey continues to the seventh station. Jesus falls for the second time. Despite the brief help from Simon, the exhaustion is overwhelming, and Jesus falls again. This second fall is even more difficult than the first. It speaks of persistent weakness and the struggle against giving up. For us, this represents those times when we've tried to overcome a habit or a sin, only to fall back into it. It can be discouraging. But Jesus gets up again. His perseverance in the face of repeated failure teaches us to never lose hope. We must keep trying, keep getting up, and trust in God's strength, not just our own. At the eighth station, Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem. As he continues his painful journey, a group of women weep for him, mourning his fate. Jesus turns to them and speaks, telling them not to weep for him, but for themselves and for their children. He shifts their focus from his own suffering to the need for their own spiritual conversion. This is a call to look inward. While it's good to have sympathy for others, Jesus reminds us that true compassion starts with examining our own hearts and repenting for our own failings. It's a powerful call to personal responsibility and spiritual growth. We now arrive at the 9th station. Jesus falls for the 3rd time. This fall is the most severe. Jesus is utterly spent, his energy completely gone. He collapses under the cross, seemingly unable to go on. This represents moments of complete despair, when we feel we have absolutely nothing left to give, when the darkness seems total. Yet, with unimaginable effort and sheer force of will, driven by his love for humanity, Jesus pushes himself up one last time to complete his mission. This teaches us about the power of perseverance fueled by love. Even when we feel completely broken, love can give us the strength to take one more step. The 10th station. Jesus is stripped of his garments. Upon reaching Golgotha, the place of crucifixion, the soldiers tear off his clothes. This is an act of ultimate humiliation. He is left with nothing, exposed and vulnerable before the crowd. This station speaks to the moments in our lives when we are stripped of our dignity, our reputation, or our possessions, when we feel completely bare and shamed. Jesus endures this profound loss of everything he has. It teaches us about detachment from worldly things and finding our true identity not in what we have or what people think of us, but in our unshakable dignity as children of God. We now witness the 11th station. Jesus is nailed to the cross. This is the moment of crucifixion. His hands and feet are pierced with nails, fastening him to the wood. The physical pain is unimaginable. But beyond the pain, this is the moment where Jesus is completely immobilized, pinned between heaven and earth. In this act, he surrenders his will completely to the Father. For us, this station represents those moments of suffering we cannot escape, the nails in our own lives that pin us down. It teaches us the difficult but transformative lesson of surrender, letting go of our own control and trusting in God's plan, even in the midst of immense pain. The 12th station is perhaps the most profound. Jesus dies on the cross. After hours of agony, Jesus cries out, "It is finished," and breathes his last. This is the climax of his sacrifice. The sky darkens, the earth trembles. In this moment of death, Jesus conquers sin and death itself. His death is not an end, but a victory. It's the ultimate act of love, giving his life so that we might have eternal life. This station calls us to reflect on the immense love that motivated this sacrifice and to contemplate the mystery of life emerging from death. It is the heart of the Christian faith. After his death, we come to the 13th station. Jesus is taken down from the cross and placed in the arms of his mother. This scene, often depicted as the Pietà, is one of profound grief and tenderness. Mary, who watched his first breath, now holds his lifeless body. Her heart is pierced with sorrow, yet her embrace is full of love. This station is a meditation on grief and loss. It reminds us that Mary shares in our deepest sorrows. When we experience the pain of losing a loved one, we can turn to her for comfort, knowing that she understands our suffering with the heart of a mother. Finally, we arrive at the 14th station. Jesus is laid in the tomb. His body is prepared and placed in a new tomb, and a large stone is rolled across the entrance. All seems lost. The light of the world has been extinguished. Silence and darkness reign. This is a station of waiting, of hope that seems lost. It mirrors the tombs in our own lives, the periods of sadness, doubt, and despair where we can't see a way forward. But even in the tomb, there is a promise. We know this is not the end of the story. This silence is the pause before the dawn, the quiet before the glorious resurrection. And so we conclude our journey through the way of the cross. But the story doesn't end here. The tomb is not the final word. These 14 stations, filled with suffering and sorrow, all point toward the light of Easter morning. They teach us that through our own falls, our own burdens, and even our own deaths, there is always the promise of new life. I hope this reflection has been meaningful for you. Thank you for joining me on this sacred path. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if this touched your heart. God bless you.